why you love self-storage. Come join us.
I love self-storage.
Yeah.
It's just become a part of my life. It really has. More than a career, because most of my good friends have come from self-storage. It's been such a blessing.
Yeah.
Not just a career blessing, but a blessing in life as well.
I love self-storage because of the people and the energy that they bring. I don't think I've ever seen an industry that's just this passionate about what they do, and there's always just something fun and exciting going on.
I'm so grateful. The community, the ISS, the SSA, all the associations have been, amazing. The friendships, and I have the privilege of again traveling to a lot of the state shows and the national shows. And again, it's just the community here is great, such as yourself, and this SBOA team has been amazing since they've come on the scene. I see a lot of amazing people doing amazing things, and it really inspires me to keep going.
To me, it's the people and the vendors and everything around. A lot of competitors, a lot of different solutions, things are growing in the industry, but everybody is here to help each other.
Yeah.
What I like the most is, I think, the innovation. It's amazing. I love the innovation, and I really like the people.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
I love the people in this business.
Yeah.
There are so many good-hearted, true blue, nice people here.
Yeah.
The other people here who do what we do are our friends.
Yeah.
I love the fact that people need stuff, and the more stuff that they need, the more they need to store it.
Right.
And when people are storing their stuff, they need a hug.
Yeah.
They need love.
They do.
We help people through a transitioning time and provide a service directly to their door while enriching storage professionals with additional revenue.
What I love about self-storage is that you're always meeting new people.
Always.
I love to just have a conversation with people, hear their stories, hear about what they do, because there's so many different things in the self-storage industry that you can be into, whether it be software development, tenant and commercial insurance like what we do. There's a lot of different colors and mixes in the industry, so that's what I would love about it. And also the conferences have some great venues too. So that's always a good perk, right?
My favorite thing about self-storage would have to be the opportunity to work with powerful and supportive women like yourself and Iris and the rest of the entire industry as a whole. I think a theme for women in the industry is women empowering women. Very much comes across, whether you're a competitor or not even in the same technology or magazines or anything in the space. Everyone supports each other and is willing to help each other and provide feedback and resources. And that is huge in this space.
And probably the thing I love most about the industry is the people. You meet people from all over the country, all the vendors at these shows, your partners. They all have an interest in helping your business succeed and making the industry move forward. And everybody's kind of working towards the same goal. So that's been the best part.
In a world where brand experience is paramount, upholding your company's standards demands unwavering consistency in every location. At the SBOA, we understand the critical role consistency plays in driving your business's success. That is why we joined forces with MSI to introduce a revolutionary internal audit program tailored to meet the specific needs of your organization. Our game-changing audit program leverages cutting-edge technology and expert insight to bring you unparalleled accuracy and reliability. We know that success in this competitive environment is paved with adherence to operational requirements, and every company has its own standards along with state and local regulations to adhere to. So we've made our internal audit system completely customizable, all in a user-friendly app. The app enables on-site agents to collect real-time data and insights from their respective locations. This feature ensures that information is up to date and allows for quick responses to any issues or challenges that could arise. Our internal audit program also has advanced photo and video reporting capabilities. These visual reporting tools allow leadership to visualize non-compliant sites and gain a comprehensive understanding of the issues, with specific examples for clear context, which enhances communication and leads to faster resolutions. And it can be done with just a few clicks and the snap of a photo or quick video. And our program provides an in-depth understanding of each store's performance and challenges. This feature allows for a comprehensive assessment of how well each location adheres to operational requirements and brand standards. helping to identify areas for improvement. Are you ready to take your self-storage business to the next level? Explore our comprehensive suite of services, including internal audit programs, mystery shopping, and unlock your full potential. Contact us today to embark on a journey of excellence and success. 248-254-9000.
Are you a self-storage owner or operator looking for service providers to help at your facility? Well, the Storage Business Owners Alliance, also known as the SBOA, has you covered. The SBOA is a premier online hub for connecting self-storage owners and operators to industry-leading products and service providers. We provide one-stop shopping for your business with exclusive offers to save time and money. At the SBOA, we believe by coming together, we help owners and operators grow revenue, gain purchasing power, reduce expenses, improve efficiencies, and increase profitability. We also offer many resources such as our conferences and Self-Storage Unlock webinars to help self-storage owners and operators gain the knowledge needed to become more competitive in the industry. To become an SBOA member or to find out more information, please visit www.thesboa.com today. We can't wait for you to join the Alliance.
The smart experience isn't just for your home. It belongs in your self-storage facility too. Today's tenants expect more than gates and cameras. They want real peace of mind, and so do you while growing your business. That's where StorageDefender comes in. As the pioneer and leader in smart units as a service, StorageDefender delivers 24/7 peace of mind with real-time text-based alerts. No apps or logins required. It's a simple solution that helps tenants feel secure and gives operators a new recurring revenue stream. With StorageDefender Smart Units, you can increase revenue by 10 to 20% per unit, attract 78% of tenants who look for smart monitoring in their next rentals. And across the U.S., 6 out of 10 tenants are opting in for smart unit monitoring. Don't just take it from us. Chris Z, a tenant from Campbellsville, Kentucky, says, "I have rented multiple storage units in different states, and this is the first time I've ever had a motion detector inside the unit. I think it's a great idea and definitely recommend it to anyone storing items. Setup is fast and hassle-free. Just place the magnetic-based smart device inside any unit. No hardwiring required. Manage everything from our intuitive dashboard, and when motion is detected, your tenant is instantly notified. It's smart, reliable visibility inside the unit where it matters most. When tenants feel protected and informed, they stay longer, speak highly of your business, and are more likely to rent again. Give your tenants what they value and gain more in return. Schedule a demo today and find peace of mind that profits.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Self Storage Unlocked. It's great to see everybody in self storage land joining us today. I am Iris Cierian, president of the Storage Business Owners Alliance, better known as the SBOA, and we are thrilled to have you joining us. Today's webinar is going to be hosted by StorageDefender. We just saw their great video, and they are going to be talking to us about smart facility technology for dummies. We're all familiar with the How To for Dummies books, and they are doing a great job putting together a whole series of everything you need to know about self-storage and technology for dummies, and we're very thankful to have them here today. I also want to thank SBOA Insurance Services for sponsoring Self-Storage Unlocked webinars. They help us bring you top-tier education and insights at no cost. We will be running for 60 minutes today. You can ask questions in the chat at any time. I see there's already been people active in the chat. Please do put your questions in there because we're going to have that $20 Starbucks giveaway at the very end like we always do. We're going to have polls throughout the webinar, and whoever is the most active is going to get that $20 Starbucks gift card. And we have a great lineup. So I'm going to bring up our first guest today, and that is Brook Bland, Marketing Manager for StorageDefender. Welcome, Brook.
Hello, everybody. I'm super excited to be here today. This is actually my first on-screen SBOA webinar. Normally I'm behind the scenes in the comments doing the slides. Today I get to be on screen. I'm excited to chat with you all.
Well, I'm very excited to have you here because you're going to give me a little break today and be our guest moderator. So I will be backstage after we get through the introductions, and I'll come back at the end just to give all the announcements. Brook, tell us a little bit about your smart facility technology for dummies series that you're creating.
Yeah, so we really want to introduce smart facility technology for dummies to really break it all down, right? Whether you've been in the industry for years or you're someone just starting out, we want to break it down at every step, make it simple, make it easy, and let you guys know what technology is out there right now that is popular, that is trending, and what considerations should you have when it takes to implementing that tech, right? So this is the first episode of many to come, so make sure to stay tuned. We've got more locked and loaded for you guys.
That's great. We're really excited to see everything that you bring together. Of course, technology is always changing in self-storage and everywhere else in our world. So having a series like that is going to be really valuable to everyone. I'm going to go ahead and bring Ryan up next. Hi, Ryan. How are you today? Can you hear me, Ryan?
Doing well. How are you guys? I can hear you. So excited to be with everybody today, and excited. I'm picturing all of our friends' faces out there in the world that are watching this. So
yeah,
I guess I'll be dummy number one.
Perfect. And next we have Mark Cieri, CEO of StorageDefender. How are you today, Mark?
Hi, Iris. How are you? Good. I'm doing great. Man,
I
am so excited to be here today. Brook, this is a heck of an idea that you came up with here. This book series on, I remember reading those, it might predate you a little bit, Brook, but those books for dummies on many different topics. And a lot of them was actually even, very early on, even before like the web became big. And it was a great resource to go to, even still today, on just getting the key takeaways as you break down a topic, an area. There's probably 1,000, AI for dummies books, right? And so how do you learn about that? Well, we want to do today, like you had talked about earlier, we want to do that for smart tech and smart automation. I'm excited for these first 5 chapters, Brook.
Me too. Me too.
Well, I'm going to go backstage and let you guys get started. So thank you so much again for being here.
Yep.
All right. Okay. So as we said, we're going to dive into the top. Oh, well, before we dive into the chapters, Mark, how about you do a little overview of the benefits that we're going to cover today of all of that tech we're about to address?
You're multitasking, Brook. All right.
I am.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So as we, three of us have talked about this a lot. We've done this presentation at different times during the year as well. But when we look at smart facility automation, whether we talk about smart units, whether we talk about smart cameras, whether we talk, I saw James Elkin, right? Whether we talk about what you can do with property management software or, smart lease. There's many different areas of smart automation, okay? But from a benefits perspective, what we're trying to make sure with these different technologies that we're, number one, enhancing customer experience, which leads to increased revenue. The more you attract, the more you take care of them, the more they're going to come and choose to rent in your location, and then they're going to become advocates, right? And they'll actually invest more if you do it right in different services and ancillary services, and by getting better utilization of your facility. You have the opportunity to enhance security and visibility on the property. Security is the number one concern that tenants have. That, peace of mind, as well as convenience. These are things that you can do with better smart automation. You can increase productivity. Labor is expensive. It doesn't mean necessarily getting rid of labor. It means using it more productive, right? And then also there's opportunities to reduce on things like utility bills. And then a big thing now, of course, is the utilization of data. You can't even talk about AI if you don't have access to the centralized data. And so all of these topics are going to be part of what we cover through the different chapters today and in the series to come. So, Brooke, back to you.
Yep. So now let's go ahead and dive into the first 5 chapters that we will be covering today. First off, we're going to hit about everything smart, as you can see. We're going to hit on smart rentals, property access and overlocking, smart unit monitoring, of course, and then that camera property monitoring as well. And don't worry, this is just the first 5 chapters. We've got many more to come. So if there's any type of tech you would like to see us address in the future, make sure to drop them in the comments for us below, and we'll make sure to include them in our next session. All right, so next up, we're going to hit on our corporate value equation. Ryan, how about you dive in and tell us a little bit about this?
Well, it's important. We're all in business here to increase our valuations, right? To make money. I know all of my operator friends out there are operating to drive up their value, right? Increasing their NOI. And to keep it super basic, right? That's the theme of this whole series. Is we want to increase our revenue, right? Driving more tenants into your property, as well as utilizing, the smart tools and capabilities out there to make you run a little bit more efficient. Driving ancillary revenue. We'll talk about that throughout today as well. All in the gear of increasing that revenue. And then on the bottom side of that, using those tools and running more efficient, how can you decrease that cost? So revenue up, cost down, value through the roof. That's the main goal for everybody. And excited to talk about the next couple chapters, which, as you said, Brooke, is only part of the book, to help everybody get there.
All right.
Man, I like the simplicity of this, because we can so often get fixated into shiny coins, Ryan. But at the end of the day, is it increasing revenue or is it decreasing costs? And ultimately doing both, you increase that. That's a really good point, man.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, yeah.
Go ahead and dive into chapter 1, smart rentals. Now, when it comes to implementing smart rentals at your property, there's a few things for you to consider, right? They need to be, need to have the capability of being contactless, right? You saw with COVID, there was a huge shift to remote management or hub and spoke models. So having that option for your tenants is absolutely something that you need to consider. And of course, along the lines of that is the customer experience. How can you make it easy, convenient, and personalized for that customer, right? So Mark, how about you dive into some of those tech choices out there today?
Yeah, so we're trying to, again, keep it simple. We're breaking it into 3 areas in terms of smart rentals in this particular chapter. And from tech choices, we're talking about the mobile phone versus kiosk question, utilization of your call center strategy, and your website. I'm going to take the first couple, and then Brooke, I'm going to let you talk about websites. But, as it relates to, self-service is critical. People like self-service. If you look at, the younger generation, Brooke, what was that stat we saw with self-service? Do you recall what that stat was? Was it like 79% of people, especially in Gen Z, your generation, are tending towards wanting to be self-serve versus having to actually talk to someone at a counter? What was that spec that we had?
Yeah. 2/3 of customers today prefer a self-service transaction over actually speaking to a company representative.
All right, that was 66 versus, okay, so yeah, 2 out of 3. And so when you think of your facility, you've got, first of all, walk through that process, that rental process. That goes without saying. Make sure it's smooth. And so what we're focusing on is that experience on mobile phone versus kiosk, right? So there are different providers of kiosks. You got, the kiosks that have been around for years. Now you're also bringing in sort of these two-way screens now with concierge two-way video, and you're that's a big one that's coming up too. But to keep it simple, Ryan, I mean, keeping that phone is like a kiosk in your pocket too. So making sure that
I never leave without it.
Right. So signage on a property is key. Whether you have a kiosk or whether you have a mobile phone, you're seeing a lot of use of things like QR codes to kind of get you through the property, at the front door, on the outside of the door, even in the office. And you are seeing, the utilization of even smartphones on properties a lot more effectively used. Again, signage is important, QR codes. Again, I like, for people that want to take it up a notch, you're seeing an increasing trend on concierge two-way videos. So that's something, again, we're not going to go deep on any of these. These are things that you want to go find. You have to talk to us. There's plenty of awesome people in the industry with products that you can talk about there. Call center is another big one, and it's become really big, not only during COVID, but it continues to be as we look across the nation, a really strategic focus of some companies. Once they get bigger, a lot of companies are looking at even creating their own call centers, whether it's onshore, nearshore, or offshore. They have, they're using technology to connect different managers at location to cover for each other, or they're outsourcing their call center. But having a call center strategy is critical, because that first phone call, that first one or two rings, having someone pick up or get to someone is absolutely critical. And having that person on the other side be highly effective, whether it is a person or even some of the use of some of the newer AI technologies with your call center strategy, that is really key. Ryan, any comments here before we move to website?
Yeah, no. And one thing, Mark, you mentioned, and we probably should have started from the beginning, right? So we're going to keep it super high level and simple, right? Keep, kind of smart tech for dummies. But a lot of that's partnering with the right vendors and the right partners out there to deliver it. So like Mark said, you reach out to us afterwards and we can help direct you to different people, because a lot of this is connecting with those right people for websites and access control and all of your entire tech stack to make sure you can deliver that positive contact experience, right? So a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a big part of SBOA too. SBOA has a line card of preferred partners that have solutions like this. So you come to the right place for that. Let's move to websites. Again, this isn't going to be a presentation on websites, but websites are your curb appeal. Your home page is like your front of a building of your favorite restaurant or your favorite retail store. So your home page is your curb appeal. Your checkout process is like the checkout at Walmart, who now went to scanning your own items. You don't even meet with a person at a lot of these stores anymore. They're making it highly convenient. And so having a very simplified checkout process and high curb appeal is super important to get that maximization of attracting and converting tenants. Brooke, why don't you talk about some of those key things?
Yeah, so as Mark hit on, like when it comes to your website, this is a huge tool for you to differentiate yourself from your competition, personalize that tenant experience, and of course, earn you more money, right? As you see here in this on this example, one, it's super simple. There's not a lot of forms for that tenant to fill out. So figuring out, okay, what is the high level information we need now to get this unit rented? And what information can we collect from this later if we need it, right? Keeping it simple and fast, right? You also see on this image, it's a little personalized. You have the little smart unit monitoring. They're opted into that service. They're going to get real-time alerts anytime there's motion in their unit. That's also a huge differentiator on the website as well. So keeping it simple, keeping it fast, less friction is best. Less is best, as Mark always tells me, and differentiate yourself, right? This website is a huge tool, so you need to make sure it's actually converting and doing the job, right? Next factor we like to hit on with websites is that top of fold, right? As you can see on that image on the left of Easy Stop Storage, we like to hit on 3 different things on the top of your website, right? Price, giving them a special offer. As you see there, they're offering 1 month free to all new tenants. Location, your tenants need to know where actually your facility is. And then, of course, peace of mind. They need to make sure they feel safe. They need to make sure they feel protected at that site from that first glance, right? Mark, how about you dive into kind of the benefits of value-based pricing?
Yeah, I mean, think of other aspects in life, right? You have, the airlines industry when you're going to rent, right? The different seats. Think of car rentals, right? You can have the different upgrades. There's no different. We, as an industry, it's been growing, but we're working directly with some of the web providers today, very closely on value-based pricing. At street rate, just like many other industries. And when you bring them in at street rate, you offer them other value-added upgrades, like good, better, best you often hear of. And so kind of having that well-architected, having it nicely synchronized to your property management software, that's really key, making sure that your website, your web provider has a great integration to your choice property management software so that you can really get that good dynamic pricing, and that value-based pricing is key. But yeah, good, better, best price, you're going to maximize profit. Many of our partners are reporting anywhere from 20 to about 45% conversion with value-based pricing pro.
Yep, absolutely. Value-based pricing is, you definitely have been an increasing demand for it. We've seen in the industry, whether it's location, access, or even tech, right? All right, so now let's go ahead and move on to our next chapter, chapter 2, smart property access. You'll see as a theme throughout this presentation, ease of use is a very, very common requirement across all of these chapters, right? And also having less management for those of you wanting to do remote or hub and spoke models to help you save on those labor costs and save your own time, right? And then, of course, the safety and security of the property itself. So you have peace of mind for both you and those tenants at the facility. Ryan, how about you dive into some of those tech choices out there?
I would love to, and I apologize if previously I was a little jumpy or my connection wasn't great. So you're talking about location on websites. I just had to move rooms so I could have a better connection for you guys.
I was nervous. I saw you drop. I'm like, uh-oh.
I dropped to run through the house to closer to the router. So we're back. So smart property access, right? So we've been talking about, now you're found online. You've chosen who you're coming to, and now you're coming to the property and the access side, right? And traditionally you come to your perimeter, right? Which is going to be historically kind of your gates, fencing around your property, and then keypads, right? And that's changing, right? And a lot of it comes back to this ease of use, right? And the better customer experience, right? You look at traditional keypads, which has been around longer than me. And you're touching the keypad, you're having to access it. Like Brooke said, COVID changed all that. Now everything's going to your phone, right? You have Bluetooth. Your phone is interacting to communicate with the property to give you that access. You see solutions out there today where even the keypad's just removed altogether, right? You've seen, the GOAT solution out there by DaVinci. I haven't seen that, right? Everything's going back to your phone, right? And which is good is because the number one reason somebody calls your facility is because they forgot what their code is, right? My phone remembers what my phone knows every password in my life. So we're using that to get in there, which is a better experience for the tenant.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I was just thinking back. I'm very excited about, I think it's Brooke, in March, the 2026 demand study. I think I have my months right. So that will be published. So they do it every, is it
3 years? I think they're switching it every 2 years now. They'll be releasing it.
So I know it's coming up. And, the top 2 fastest growing features that tenants valued that would pay for, one of which was convenience of electronic access. And so, anytime access, controllers that are simple to use. Being able to get on a property without even having to remember a keypad and just pull up and it recognize something on your car, a license plate, a QR code or being able to hit a button on your phone without having to hit a keypad or remember a keypad. That's absolutely here. And just, I do see a trend of slowly removing the keypad. We're starting to see that increase finally because, look, I don't hit a keypad to go into the gym. I want that same, I hold my phone up, right? And so, yeah, I think this convenience of access, which people are wanting to pay for, and I think we're going to see an increase on that. I think this tech is awesome.
And I think it provides, especially from the operator side, more data points, right? As you're utilizing more smart solutions and tech and products out there, it gives you more data points to better operate, to glean through, see how your property is being utilized, see who's on property, right? With everything going mobile to keep it super simple, now I know exactly what phone was on there. People are sharing codes through their phone. Now you have a better audit trail of who's actually there. So while these solutions can be easily implemented, think about the data implications of how you can better manage your facilities.
Speaking of implications, I still run into facilities where they're giving global access codes to their tenants, right? Like, in other words, 1, 2, 3.
If you're on this call, do not do that.
So, I mean, people even have keypads and they're using universal codes. It could even be for workers or people access the properties. With all this new tech, that is completely solved. So it will cement a stronger, secure facility as well.
Absolutely.
All right. I think we're ready. Oh, we have a question out there from Dee Dee. She says, we have a facility in an area where the community is behind on tech. How do we get them up to speed? They still want to pay in cash.
Can I keep it simple?
Yeah.
Rip off the Band-Aid.
Yeah, I mean, the best practices in the industry. I mean, you've got to make a decision on your own there. Dee Dee, you obviously know that the industry is pushing to auto pay because that's best in terms of your ability to collect. I would only ask you one question. Are people paying on time or not? If they're paying on time with cash and you already have a manager involved, you're fine. If they're not paying on time, if they're not paying on time and you're seeing delinquencies, then you know what you need to do there. But I mean, a lot of, that's a really facility specific, I don't know what it is.
Property managers are fighting us. Yeah.
Oh, of course. Yes. So, it reminds me of things like tenant insurance that used to be optional, completely optional. And then we went to, as an industry, many have moved to mandating it, coverage, and in the contracts. And there was a lot of concerns there. As Ryan said, rip off the Band-Aid. Let's keep it simple. All right, let's move on, Brooke.
All right. Now we hit Chapter 3, Smart Unit Access. When it comes to Smart Unit Access, you want to make sure your tech choice is convenient, reliable, contactless, and like we've said before, easy to use. Mark, go ahead and hit on some of those tech choices for us.
Yeah, so every time I see the word smart unit, obviously I get excited, right? Because that's what we focus on. And personalization is key. Empowerment is key. But there's different choices out there today. It's kind of like that value-based pricing, good, better, best. I don't know if that's a great analogy. Depending on the demographics of your facility, depending on if you're remote, if you're not remote, how much capital you have 3 basic different areas. Oh my gosh. Am I there? Did I just drop?
No, you're good.
Okay. Electronic latches. There's a lot of, there's good 4 or so companies out doing electronic latches today. They do require, most of them require, I think all of them actually require the use of a mobile app today, but there are some emerging versions of that too. You have electronic padlocks. Some of them with batteries, and then there's a solution. I think KISS has one without batteries. That's more of what's called near field communications, NFC, where you hold your phone up just like at Starbucks, and that's batteryless. And then you have locks with combinations, but they use a smart automated process. I still consider that smart technology, right? And that doesn't require a battery, and those are going to be highly reliable. They'll never die because there's no battery. But then you integrate it, and like Da Vinci's certainly well known for that. With now they even have QR codes on the lock, and you pull out your phone, and it actually takes an image of the QR code, and you get the combination. And so there's different levels of doing this. And really this comes down to what are your goals at the facility? If you're building a Class A facility in a high-end metropolitan area and you want to have the best of the best, and you have you want to bring a Cadillac to your local market to be competitive and to drive value, you might want to go with the electronic latches. Ryan, you have some experience on that. But on the other hand, if you are a remotely managed property with 100, 150 units as an example, a DaVinci lock solution is awesome for things like, certainly for the overlock process, but even for accessing the property to get on into new units, they have a process for that. So I look at this as you got to determine what you want to do for what's the intention of your facility? How much do you want to invest not only up front, but there is an ongoing investment in terms of maintaining anything that has batteries in them, especially some of these electronic latches. Okay, some of them are reported to have under 2 years of life, and some that are on paper reporting up to 5 years of life. Okay, those are important, considerations. And then how you're dealing with things like move in and move out and delinquency. These types of considerations all come into, do I want to go more simple, more reliable, or do I want to go to the next level of sophistication? And all of them can be good depending on what your answers to that are. Ryan, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, this topic's gained a lot of attention in past years, recent years, and still going forward, right? You can see there's a whole spectrum of solutions out there, and they all come with different levels of cost, right? So as Mark was saying, you got to consider your demographic, your market, the size of property it is, what you're really trying to achieve. But it also goes back to there's a lot more data to be gleaned by using smart unit access, right? Just like the gates we were talking about and access control, being able to track and see when doors are open, how long the latches are left unopened before they're closed. A lot more data that can be gleaned versus, and I know Jeff always marked it, just kind of a dumb padlock, just a piece of metal that there's nothing actually trackable on it. So there's definitely some benefits from that side. And Mark said, like, you're automating delinquency process, you're automating your auction process versus going around and cutting locks, as well as it's a good security deterrent, right? Bad guys come into facilities looking for an easy score, and they see, big bulky electronic things on doors, what have you, and it seems too secure in their heads, right? So they're going to go to the next one.
One more thing I want to bring up on this is a lot of people don't talk about this in our industry. I come from other tech spaces. One of the questions you have to ask when you're evaluating this is, what is your fail safe, right? When something fails, where is that going to leave your tenant? Where is that going to leave you, right? So for example, if a battery dies on an electronic latch, where does that leave you, right? If an electronic padlock isn't functioning or dies, where does that leave you? What is a dumb lock's not going to fail. So what are the failure modes on that, right? Maybe you don't have access to cellular technology or something. Where does that leave you, right? You want to look at if they fail, where does that leave you? Is it going to create a customer experience issue that's prohibitive? That's something we don't often talk about. We talk about all the upsides. Maybe we talk about costs. But you really got to also look at, things will fail. Where does that leave the tenant? Where does it leave you? It's something important in your consideration. Brooke, back to you. By the way,
Yeah,
Brooke, I'm
absolutely.
not seeing any comments. I encourage comments out there. I'm just wondering, are there people out there that have any questions? I normally see a lot more questions by now, and I've seen a few. So I just want to make sure that we have the comments turned on and all.
All right. Yeah,
All
drop
right,
those
let's keep
comments in
going.
the chats, guys. Now we're going to move on to chapter number 4, smart unit monitoring, which is actually what we do here at StorageDefender. So I think we're all pretty excited about this topic. When it comes to choosing a provider for smart units, it's important to make sure you choose an option that's safe, reliable, full of data-rich insights for your portfolio of whether it's a small one facility or you've got over 100 facilities. And then also making sure it's reliable and making sure, of course, it makes you more money and also increases that bottom line, right? Ryan, how about you dive into some of those tech choices out there?
Absolutely, yeah. And we might be a little biased on this chapter, our favorite chapter. But at the end of the day, it's an important component that should very much be considered as part of your comprehensive tech stack, right? And the market is recognizing over the past years how popular this is as well and how much beneficial it is, right? If you look historically, which we've talked about in previous chapters, you have fences and gates and cameras and access control and doors and electronic locks and other padlocks, this, that, and the other. But there's always been that kind of missing gap of what's going on behind the door, right? And smart unit monitoring inside really solves that, right? Where it closes that whole circle of security, so that you have a full control, kind of remote management of your facility, remote or in person, right? We know, looking at our studies and responses from the market, right? 8 out of 10 tenants who rent StorageDefender say they look for that service at the next facility they rent from, right? And that's because they see the benefit and that peace of mind of knowing that their valuables they stored inside of a unit are right where they left them, right? Real great topic that we want to put in when you're looking at smart unit monitoring is also increased revenue, right? Fantastic service straight to the tenant that provides additional revenue, ancillary service to your bottom line, which can help pay for all the previous chapters we just talked about, right? And the rest of your tech stack you're looking to put in. And we're talking about considerations of app versus no app. Brooke, I don't know about you. How many apps are on your phone? Mark, how many apps are on your phone? I know I have a bunch. Half of them don't get opened anymore. It's also kind of going back to the earlier chapters we're talking about, convenience and that positive customer experience. We release it with 0 app, right? It's just text-based. We don't want anybody downloading another app to have to do this. We're trying to make it easy, right? And we were talking about earlier that indoor monitoring that's been missed. Think about all the operators out there trying to understand what's going on in their property. You have a lot of vacant units as well, right? And monitoring what's going on inside those vacant units can be just as powerful and important as monitoring what's going on inside the occupied units, because now you can see, are people throwing trash in those units? Are people trying to sleep in different units? Are people trying to go into vacant units and climb over walls or get ready to burrow through the wall to take some from Mark's unit next door? But if you're not monitoring this stuff inside, quite honestly, you're just guessing, right? Which is why it comes back to, it should be part of your full comprehensive tech stack of smart facilities. Mark, what do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I did a presentation like a year ago in California, and I talked about when you connect and communicate, when you connect a tenant or a customer to the interior space and you communicate with what's going on, that leads to high contentment at 3 C's, right? And it's shown, and I believe it's going to go up. We're going to see it, but it's the top 2 fastest growing feature tenants will pay for a reason. And according to the SSA demand study. So this is really about dogs barking and increasing your tenant experience. By the way, what was kind of funny on that was, when you earlier, and I even dropped off, I was just thinking, like, imagine if you didn't have your Bluetooth on. Imagine if you didn't have an app on your phone, and now you're trying to either get into a smart unit access unit, or you're trying to get your text messages, or you're trying to get your locks. Like, connectivity, availability of apps, Bluetooth being on, these are all things that are important to consider. But as it relates to smart unit access, I 100% believe this is also not just about solving issues. It's about granting peace of mind to your tenants, and they're willing to pay for it. Brooke, I think you have some results to talk about there, right?
Yeah, so as Maddie says in that comment, tenants look for peace of mind, right? And we're seeing that data internally at StorageDefender and, of course, in those SSA demand studies. And it's going to keep increasing as those younger generations enter the market. So you guys have heard us talk about kind of smart units, what they do, the benefits you could have, but where's the proof, right? So we've actually recently released a case study with Rightmove Storage. They were facing challenges such as elevated inflation, lower storage demand, increased labor and insurance costs, right? And smart units have been a great way to help the Rightmove Storage portfolio increase revenue by 12% across all 62 locations. Tenants are loving the service. 9 out of 10 of them are opting in. And out of those tenants, 7 out of 10 of them would recommend that service to a friend or family member storing their valuables, right? The Rightmove portfolio has also seen a 41% reduction in insurance losses, which is huge over a 3-year period. So that's the kind of the right move success for you. So I guess you could say smart units were the right move for them. And so that's kind of a larger portfolio. Ryan's laughing at my bad joke. The smaller portfolio here is My Storage Group, right? They've got 11 locations. They were facing a lot of heavy competition in their area, a slowing market, and a lot of concerns over break-ins, right? Especially during the holiday season. After implementing StorageDefender smart units, they've had no break-ins at any of their properties, right? Of course, they're hitting in on that revenue as well. Tenants are loving the service with 7 out of 10 of them opting in, and 90% of those tenants would recommend the service to a friend, right? This is real results, real world impact on both of these properties, right? And of course, everyone attending the webinar today will receive a copy of the My Storage Group case study, so you can dive a little bit deeper into those benefits. Make sure to read it. I wrote it. It's great. I'm a little biased.
I agree with it. I reviewed it.
All right. Any thoughts before I switch us over to our final chapter of today's book? All right. Data speaks for itself. Chapter 5 is
Yeah, I
going
have
to
a
be...
question for you, Brooke.
Yes.
Do you enjoy what you do?
Of course. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Chapter 5, Smart Camera Property Monitoring. So this is our final chapter. Whenever you are considering implementing a solution, it's important for it to be a remote-friendly solution, right? So that you can access anywhere you are and make it easier for you. That's our theme. Easy. Easy is best. Mark, go ahead and hit us in on those tech choices.
Yeah, so cameras, I mean, Ryan alluded to it right up at the beginning, right? Cameras are, really important, right? You have your ring of protection on a property. You have your fences and lights. You have your access to get onto the property. We talked about that earlier. Interior, you have your smart access to the buildings or into the units, and now unit monitoring. But in between there, that proliferates the property, of course, is cameras. And camera technology is getting smarter and smarter and smarter, right? And so I get a lot of questions about, hey, do we need to upgrade our cameras? A lot of time, your cameras, if they're bought somewhat recently, are fine, right? A lot of the intelligence is done when you centralize them and you put it into this cloud, right? And so key here is making sure that your camera system, while it will have stuff on the premises, you want to really capitalize on AI and analytics. Even if you want to do like monitoring services, it's good to bring it up to the cloud, right? Centralize it. It makes it readily available. If you have multi-properties, I had Gary Edmonds, who runs the storage manager. I talked to him a couple years ago. He's like, Mark, I've got properties. I got 40, 50 properties. A lot of them have different camera systems, but I want to look on my phone and just see what's going on at the different properties, right? And so the idea there is taking all those systems, bringing them into the cloud, centralizing them, and then that is where you also can get your AI and analytics applied to it, so that you could sit there and detect, hey, there's a person on the property. It's after hours. They're wearing a red hoodie. They got a backpack. That information is now searchable in human language. And then a lot of the later cameras, if your cameras don't have this, you'll have to upgrade it. Will offer two-way. So now if you have, that smart analytics coming in, you have maybe connected to a manager or somebody overnight with your properties watching those if those specific alerts come up, or maybe you have it connected to a third-party system, monitoring system. They can then engage the person on your property and say, hey, man with the red hoodie and a backpack, the police are on the way, thereby scaring them off before they cause more damage to your property as well as to your tenants. So the idea here with cameras is, centralize them, make them easily accessible. We have a product called Visual Verify that helps you bring all that together. Those like that Gary Edmonds type question about, Mark, how do I bring all my different camera systems into one? We have a solution that helps with that we've partnered with some providers out there as well. But again, this is a really important part of your smart technology. Ryan, what are your thoughts on that?
No, and it's just like I said, it's an important part, and same thing I've said throughout the previous chapters, right? An important part of your smart tech stack, right? And kind of tying some of the chapters together is having that camera system in place that's tracking and monitoring and recording stuff, because, you know, the access control, the smart access to the property, doors, unit access, inside monitoring, all those smart devices are all time-stamped, right? So when they have something goes off, there's different events, you can correlate that back to your camera system much easier, right? Instead of sitting there and scanning through days and weeks of footage, you can pinpoint things down to the second, because you have the rest of your property that's telling you exactly when the event happened, making you that much more efficient, but also getting you right to the action of what happened. So very, very important for every property out there.
And by the way, like what you're seeing a lot of our partners do now is, even beyond the security implications and the benefits of the cameras, there's a lot of other things you can do with it. You know, you can do traffic counting with it. You're also seeing systems, for example, that, use concierge two-way video. They talk to people in the office, and then as they're walking through the property, you're actually watching them through the cameras in the system. Things are getting that smart. Again, we don't have to be that techie. We can keep it simple, and the key point here is get yourself cameras. Make sure they have AI. Just having cameras as optical deterrence is not enough anymore. Let's get more fuel, more gas out of your cameras by making sure that they're in the cloud, they have AI, they're using analytics, and they're helping you either deter or at least be able to quickly investigate any issues that you might have. Brooke, back to you.
All right, everybody. So that was the first 5 chapters of our Smart Technology for Dummies book, SBOA edition. Go ahead and let us know in the comments if there are any questions that you guys have for us to answer today. And then if there's any chapters you'd like to see from us in the future, drop those in the comments for us too.
Yeah, we do. We have a lot of, we've been asked in the past, we got opportunities, for example, with smart maintenance. We have, if that's an interest for you, we can look to bring partners on for that. We have topics about automating the collections process and sort of the lien process. There's partners within the SBOA that do that. There are topics like smart property management systems, and also deeper dives in some of the website stuff. So we're going to add another 4 to 5 chapters on our next seminar series. We'd love to hear any ideas you guys have. Approach us either now or offline. But Iris, what are your thoughts on all this?
I love listening to everything technology, especially for self-storage. Dee Dee says great topics. She's great. But I have a question for you. So for people who maybe someone like Dee Dee, she mentioned her property managers really don't want to latch on to using tech. What advice do you give her to getting them? I know Ryan said rip off the Band-Aid. Just that simple. Just say, hey, this is what we're doing now.
Yeah, you're doing that, but at the same point, you're utilizing a lot of these smart solutions to expand the abilities of those property managers, right? So they can make them more efficient, give them more tools to better manage their day-to-day. If they're in the property, in the office, to know what's going on around them, or when they're traveling or, off-site for the moment. All these tools can be utilized to help them better but better perform their duties and have more kind of insight and control over it.
Do you find that sometimes property managers or employees are resistant because they think this is going to take away their job?
Yeah, I want to jump in on that. So, and we didn't, I think we covered it, but we can cover it better. I see, that is a possibility, right? Okay. And the politically correct way to answer that is, we're just going to kind of repurpose, and there's going to be people, but they'll be doing different things. But what Ryan and I work on, for example, with smart units, is it's a new ancillary service, right? And managers that are not just renting units, but have the opportunity to get, the upgrade by talking to a tenant, to understanding and empathizing with the tenant and giving them some extra peace of mind with smart units, generates another $15 of revenue. They can talk to a tenant and say, hey, I see that you're storing some of your valuable mom's heirlooms. Why don't you take the maximum coverage we have with insurance? Instead of getting the base, you get, you upgrade it higher. Or, hey, I see that, you are a Hunter, and maybe I could get you on the property a little earlier for an extra $15 a month. Would you like some extra access hours, right? So when you get managers not only doing the repetitive stuff that maybe smart automation can do, we free them up to actually drive top line revenue and increase income. And so I think their opportunity there is to allow people to connect with people better and actually sell more. So I see it. It has both, but I think we're freeing managers up to actually add more value to the people that come in that they interact with. Yeah, that's my take on it.
I love this comment from Dee Dee. We use StorageDefender on 2 properties now, and we are seeing the numbers you shared. Great product. I even had an elderly gentleman on Saturday tell me he loves his Defender.
And Dee Dee, I've never met you. I don't think I've met you, but that is just awesome.
How much
man.
you doing, Dee Dee?
Yeah, I think you're going to win, Dee Dee. I think I've been seeing your comments, but thank you for that. So I see
Dee Dee will be on our next series, handling one of the upcoming chapters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amen. Dee Dee, I want to meet you. Hey,
Yeah.
I noticed
Dee
the
Dee, are you
comment from
coming to
James
Vegas?
Elkins.
'Cause we all want to meet you.
Yeah. Hey,
And we did
James, thanks for the can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, James, thanks for the comment earlier. I do want to just mention James is from one of the property management software companies called Monument. And they're one of the up and coming, but we can't talk about smart tech without talking about how the interface with smart tech and even the property management software themselves are getting smarter, doing things more smart. So whether it be Monument or SSM or Storage, just there's a number of them out there. I think we obviously won't take our eyes off the ball there. That could be a future chapter. Now, Eric, you asked a good question. What is the approximate cost of all this smart tech ROI? Okay, well, here's the deal. It's a good question to be asking about what is the ROI. So first of all, excellent question. What is the ROI? It should be tangible. That is the right question to ask. At StorageDefender, for example, we are very clear on that, right? You make a profit on the 15, and there is a device investment, and depending on how much you charge, we're seeing anywhere from a 9 to 12 month payback on ROI, and within first year, typically well over 25 to 30% ROI in the first year and well over 100% in the second year. So we have very clear metrics because you're investing in a product where there's an expense and you're getting a customer income, and that's how your ROI is collected. Great question. That's what we talk about, is making sure that you're driving upside. Now, in other types of technologies, for example, if we talk about, locks, right? Electronic locks, right? If you are able to run remotely by bringing in some of the, smart technologies, whether it be an electronic latch or whether it be a Da Vinci type lock, and you're able to add, a higher quality gate access if needed. If those investments, for example, are allowing you to mitigate your staff on the property, maybe you're able to, not have to be open on Sundays and be able to close early on Wednesday afternoon. Or maybe you're able to, obviously increase labor productivity. You might actually look at savings at headcount there. That's the way some people are doing it there. Lastly, when you talk about some of the smart collections type technology, if you improve your collections and reduce your delinquencies by using automated technology, you're going to get to see an improvement on delinquencies, which can be quantified. And again, if, for example, you have a company where your managers or your district managers are having to consume time by calling people, right? As opposed to doing other value adds on the property that drive increase in income or revenue, that also can be quantified too. So it really depends on the investment, the smart tech area. But the key is asking that question and making sure that you see the math and that it makes sense to you on your property. So we can't give you an exact, I can give you on mine, on what we do, but that is exactly the appropriate. And if you don't have a clear ROI, then why the heck are you doing it, right?
And there's a factor to put in there as well, and everything you said was great, Mark, but there's also one more preventative ROI is how I always try to coin it. When you're implementing and investing in these smart solutions so that you're better efficiently managing your property, have better command and control of what's going on the property, you're using better security measures to deter the bad guys, you're going to have a reduction in break-ins, a reduction in insurance claims. That's all comes back into what I just coined kind of as your preventative ROI, right? Hard to put a solid number on it, but it's very much something that you should factor in.
Yeah, actually, great point, Ryan. In that Right Move Storage case study that Brook had, 3-year period, a 40% reduction in insurance claims, in part because of their move to StorageDefender. Okay, so you can also improve ROI by reducing losses. Here's another loss that can be improved. Say you're in an area where we have a lot of facility partners, for example, in California, where some of the properties are getting, and Seattle area, by the way, where you're having a lot of break-in issues. And I'm thinking of a story. I went to the California show in July, and I was in a facility. You guys know this story, but I'll share it with you, Iris, and the team that's out there. I was sitting in kind of waiting on the side. We're starting on a new Class A facility right outside of Santa Ana. And the lady had heard, she had just moved in. She was early 30s, dual income, no kids, lived in a condo in the Santa area, but was renting a 10 by 10 in a nice climate control multi-level. After she moved in, she had heard me talking about to the manager, StorageDefender. She came over and says, I heard what you were saying. I want that. I said, well, I'm like, tell me a little bit more. What you're saying? Like literally, I said, I was at one of the big companies with green doors. I won't say who it is. And there was a rising burglary problem and units getting broken in. And it got back to me. And then the neighbor next to me had someone shoosh their your kid over the wall, pushed out the lock, took everything. And my husband and I said, we're out of here. And so that facility was losing a lot of its tenants because of those issues. And then this facility that she came to, she told me she wanted 3 things. She wanted it to be modern, clean, and high security, and price was very low. What's the moral of my story is? The moral of my story is some locations are losing business because of security issues, and others that have that curb appeal and that story with security are gaining tenants because of it within a 1 mile radius, which is what this was. So to your point, some of it might be, gaining business because you got someone in the area that's not as secure, or on your side, plugging the leaky bucket of losing tenants that are concerned because of your issues on security. You can go, and the same could also be said, for example, with people like you have a lot of business clients that have, for example, you're in an area with an industrial park, right? They do have, they're often not as nice areas. So you might want to improve security, but you might want to go with, more of that 24/7 electronic access where you grant them access to the property earlier and later and charge for it, right? That's tuning your property with technology to your tenants or your issues to actually make more money. So these are ways to anchor your technology investments to return on investments. Hopefully you're working on upsides like I started, but I just gave you an example with this lady who was dealing with the tale of two cities, right? 2 stories, right? Story, person A, company A was losing, company B was gaining because of a good investment. That's also a way of looking at ROI.
Yeah, that's a great example. Tale of 2 storages. We have one final question from Eric. What is the additional approximate customer charge for smart tech? Is it something that, people should add on, or do they build into the charge? I think we see, that's kind of up to you, Eric, but I'll let you guys answer that.
Yeah, Ryan, do you want to take it, or you want to take it?
Yeah, and as far as the add-on or built-in, it purely is a personal choice, right? We see both done very, very well and very, very commonly, right? Adding it on as additional recurring charge or just built into the price. Different school of thought on it. They both work. Additional approximate charge for tech fee, right? At least just purely for StorageDefender, we're seeing $12 up to $15 on average on a monthly basis. Right. But then I think it gives you the ability to look at everything that's going on. So it's very much worth it. And I think it's something that you can market and say you're investing in this stuff and make it part of your ancillary service.
I also have a note.
And there's I'm sorry, Brooke, you jump in. So,
We've also seen if you're charging for anytime access, you can get up to
Mhm.
$25 a month from tenants who want that service.
yep, that's through a lot of interviews and anecdotal through all the years that we. But yeah, there's different ways. Like there's basically three core ways, Eric. Number one is what Ryan said. You charge it as an ancillary service, like a smart tech fee. It can be a subscription, like a smart unit, right? Again, that 12 to 15. Smart tech fees can come in different flavors. It could just be for the basic technology. You could have $5 or $6 a month. Some people are adding, and then if you really soup up the technology and allow personalization, like we're seeing 15 plus. And then lastly, you can bake these into your unit rentals. And so if you remember my earlier comment with value-based pricing, you have base units that are brand vanilla 10 by 10, even if it's climate control, but then you add it on the high end, one that, for example, is in a preferred location, but then has individual unit monitoring like StorageDefenders, and they're adding another 25 onto the price. And so they're empowering with tenant choice, right? And so some of this is by ancillary service, but some of it is by managing tenant choice by two different unit types and allowing the tenants to often choose, again, like I mentioned earlier, 20 to 40% upgrade, and really driving that need for tenants. When you give tenants choice, there's two things they're looking for: more peace of mind and more convenience. And so if you can dial in on those, you can actually put it into your unit pricing strategy. And there's plenty of great other smart tech companies out there. And again, you work with your property management software, you work with your web company. There's dynamic pricing technology companies out there like Veritech and ProRise, and then companies like us that will help you monetize those features, whether it's as a tech fee, subscription fee, an ancillary service, or by preferred unit rentals in the premiums.
And I love that dynamic pricing from a marketing standpoint, because it still allows you to market that low price to kind of draw people in, and then you can explain to them why there's pricing differences and what they're getting, what the value is to getting that StorageDefender unit. All right.
So yeah, Eric, I'm happy to talk with you offline. If you want to talk a little bit more, feel free to reach out to us at StorageDefender. We can certainly talk to you a little bit more about that.
Awesome. Brooke, what is next for StorageDefender? Dee Dee asked, since you're the marketing manager, tell us. What's next?
That is a loaded question because a lot of things are confidential, Iris. But what is next for StorageDefender? We've got a lot cooking. We've got a few announcements coming over the next few weeks, so keep your eyes out. We've also got a few more customer case studies coming out the rest of this year, so keep your eyes peeled for that as well. Mark, I'll let you comment on anything else.
Yeah, no, I think you nailed it. I think we're excited about rolling out another 5 chapters. So again, the call to action to everyone is we think we know what the next 3 are, but we're open for any suggestions on 2, because we do want to bring in on the next one another partner or 2 with us to present some chapters there. So that's for SBOA. We do have another seminar that we're planning for the October timeframe. We've already got that framed out. It will not be for Smart Tech for Dummies. We'll do that early. And then in terms of new products and new case studies, I think, yeah, you're going to have to come talk to us at SSA. We got some exciting stuff coming out, right?
Yeah, I'm very excited for an announcement we're going to have coming out very soon as well. So
yep.
Thank you all for being here. This is a really great information for everybody. I'm going to let you go on with your day. I think I see you in just a little bit at another meeting, but I'm going to bring up Aaliyah to announce our winner today. Hold on, there she is. Hi, Aaliyah. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. How are you? Another awesome session, of course.
Thankful.
Absolutely. So do you. Thank you.
All the tech stuff just fills up my brain, and I love it. I think I know who our winner is today.
It goes without saying. It goes without saying. Thank you so much. The winner is going to be Dee Dee. If you can send an email with subject line SSU winner to mari@thesboa.com, you'll get to redeem your card. Thank you so much for all your questions. comments. It was not anything to apologize for. I saw you apologize. You didn't need to apologize ever.
No, please never apologize. There's no bad question. At least not so. Someone might challenge me on that, but but let's just talk about it. Dee Dee, what's coming for SBOA very soon. And of course, everyone knows the big 50th anniversary for SSA is coming up in 2 weeks in Las Vegas. And we will be at booth 674. Us, Aaliyah, Michaela will be there. And our whole SBOA Insurance Services team, David, Nate, Brittany are going to be there. And StorageDefender is also, of course, going to be there. They will be in booth number 636, and we'll be right down the aisle at 674.
All right.
The most fun part for us at any national show, of course, is our VIP party. So, Aaliyah, do you want to talk a little bit about the party that's coming up September 4th?
Absolutely. Yeah. Thursday, September 4th. We're going to be at Miho, which is going to be at is it the Durango? The Durango Resort? I haven't been there yet.
And Miho has its own speakeasy with a secret door.
That I'm excited for.
There's one way to get in.
One way in and one way out. No, it's
one way out.
Perfect for Vegas. Definitely a perfect way to end the SSA. So you're going to want to be there, but you are going to have to be a VIP. This will not be first come, first serve for just anybody, right? So you're going to make sure to become a VIP, and it's really simple. You're just going to head to www.thesboa.com/membership and get signed up to be a VIP, and you'll get your invitation as soon as they're sent out, which will be happening soon. So make sure you become a VIP member before those get out and get your seat before they fill up. Limited seats.
Yes, absolutely. We want to see you in Vegas. We want to see you at the party. By the way, this will be a full room. So it is going to be standing room only for the most part. We're going to have great food. We're going to have a party bus to bring you there from Aria if you're staying at Aria. And we're going to have prizes, trivia games on the party bus, the whole thing. It's SBOA. We're going to have a good time. CSSI is one of our sponsors, and they are planning a really nice gift basket for a lucky winner there. And of course, SBOA Insurance Services is one of our sponsors, and MSI is sponsoring our party bus. And yes, Brook, once again, they will be at booth 636. Brook, I hope we're going to see you at the party in Vegas. Ryan and Mark, we hope to see you as well. Come on in and join us. It's going to be a great time. I'm really looking forward to going to the Wax Rabbit. A couple other announcements that are coming up. We have the magazine coming out next week, right, Aaliyah?
Of course, absolutely, coming out, and that's for free to sign up for. You definitely should sign up for that. I'll put up the link for you guys as well to see the magazine, but we'll be publishing that on Tuesday, the 26th. I don't think about the date there. It's hard to keep track. And as Brooke said, sorry, what'd you say?
Oh, I was going to say, if you get our newsletter, you're going to have links in there to get the magazine. And follow us on any of our social channels. There will be links galore, but you can also, of course, go to our website, and we're going to have the magazine available right there for you. You do not have to be a VIP member. We want to share all that information with you guys. Yeah. And I believe that covers everything coming up. Oh, one more thing is our next webinar, which will be September 11. That is going to be protecting your people and property, operational resilience in self-storage. So that's one you won't want to miss. We'll have our insurance people here. We're going to have, I believe, Alpha Staff is joining us. So we have a couple of companies coming in to talk about those things. And Jim Mooney Jr. is also going to join us. I haven't seen him on our webinar in a little while, so I'm excited about that too. All right, thank you, everyone. We cannot do these programs without, of course, our wonderful sponsors, our speakers, and you, the audience. We have to have someone to ask those questions. That's why we're so happy that Dee Dee, you can't ask a bad one. Thank everybody for being here today. Brooke, you did a fantastic job on your first webinar. We really appreciate you. Have a great day, everybody, and we hope to see you in Vegas.
Bye.
Here's a little note about StorageDefender as we go out.
The smart experience isn't just for your home. It belongs in your self-storage facility too. Today's tenants expect more than gates and cameras. They want real peace of mind, and so do you while growing your business. That's where StorageDefender comes in. As the pioneer and leader in smart units as a service, StorageDefender delivers 24/7 peace of mind with real-time text-based alerts. No apps or logins required. It's a simple solution that helps tenants feel secure and gives operators a new recurring revenue stream. With StorageDefender smart units, you can increase revenue by 10 to 20% per unit, attract 78% of tenants who look for smart monitoring in their next rentals, and across the U.S., 6 out of 10 tenants are opting in for smart unit monitoring. Don't just take it from us. Chris Z, a tenant from Campbellsville, Kentucky, says, "I have rented multiple storage units in different states, and this is the first time I've ever had a motion detector inside the unit. I think it's a great idea and definitely recommend it to anyone storing items." Setup is fast and hassle-free. Just place the magnetic-based smart device inside any unit. No hardwiring required. Manage everything from our intuitive dashboard, and when motion is detected, your tenant is instantly notified. It's smart, reliable visibility inside the unit where it matters most. When tenants feel protected and informed, they stay longer, speak highly of your business, and are more likely to rent again. Give your tenants what they value and gain more in return. Schedule a demo today and find peace of mind that profits.